25 years ago, a group of young people working with a street theatre company named Unleaded Theatre came together to make a show called Rat Bags. They didn't know at the time, but they were making the first ever PYT show.
It was completely crazy. It was this sort of license to completely, as I say, I think play is the best word. I mean, even though I was a teenager, I thought that play was what you did when you were a child.
It was robust and anarchic and in your face and agit-prop and highly physical and acrobatics and clowning. Because I remember when Rat Bags, the show was over, there was and I lived at Guildford. I was very much a local person myself, and I'd grown up in Western Sydney, dying to do something creative and never having the chance to do it. And here we just had this amazing show called Rat Bags, and everyone in the show went, "You can't leave us now." And because I was a local, I went, and because I knew that hunger, I said, well, okay, well let's just keep meeting. Let's just keep meeting once a week.
That's right, we did. Yeah.
And we just and think about something to do.
We called ourselves Powerhouse Youth Theatre.
Yeah, from the start.
For the poster.
Yeah. Because when we started the first unemployed project, we didn't have a name for the company, but we called ourselves Powerhouse Youth Theatre in order to go on stage, and the name stuck.
We've got to stop them. It's not fair. They ripped him off. They forgot about him. They killed him twice.
What I thought was incredible, Donna was there with her notepad and she was watching us improvise all these wacky things. And I thought she was incredible how she could put what we kind of devised into some sort of format.
I think Donna Abella's influence was incredible. I realised that you could write something and put it on and create without being in Hollywood or being, in a major theatre company in Sydney.
Yeah, whatever skills you brought, we'd build a show around those skills.
And we would use them on stage as well.
Totally.
Yeah, we would have spray painters on the stage because they were great at spray painting. So, there were so many skills that people had, and everything was group devised. So
you could make it all work. You just made it all work.
Over the next 15 years, PYT was based at Casula, running workshops and producing performances with local young people. The company also engaged with community groups to make specific shows such as Living Floor and working with City Moon for Finding the Buffalo. In 2002, PYT packed its bags and moved to its new home, Fairfield School of Arts.
When we first moved there, it was a pretty empty space with pigeons, and the theatre used to get bird poo all over it. That was pleasant.
Particularly in the middle of a performance.
That's true. Yeah, I remember that. And we were in the storage cupboard. That was our office.
Yeah, what's currently the storage cupboard. I don't think we didn't have a photocopier.
No, we didn't have a photocopier.
So we'd go down to Fairfield Library and line up with other people, other general public members to do our photocopying for sort of major arts grants, which was good, wasn't it? And this is this is talking 2005. We're not talking sort of the dark ages here.
Now based in the CBD of Fairfield, PYT found itself immersed in a hive of culturally diverse activity.
It took 2 years to do, but we got up Divine Places, which was all about the diversity of that area and the faith, people, different types of faith. It involved 5 performance spaces, putting audience on a bus and bussing them around to the different performance venues, which included temples, the Lao Buddhist temple, the Turkish mosque, the Anglican church, an Aboriginal site, and the Fairfield School of the Arts. What was so good about that project was that we got to Fairfield and we immediately went to all those communities and were able to engage them on all sorts of levels, as makers and as bringing audiences to their temple or mosque or church. And it just, I think, brought PYT to a huge range of people in Fairfield, which was really important.
I think quite a few of those participants want to learn more about acting and performance and even just the entertainment industry as well. Quite a few of them hadn't even been outside of Fairfield or Cabramatta. I guess one of the participants when we were on tour with Cabramatta Stories, actually when they got off the bus, when we arrived in Junee, and we arrived at Junee School, got off the bus that we're all travelling in, and had a complete freak out because she'd never seen so many white people in one place before, and she'd never been outside of Cabramatta really, let alone Fairfield LGA.
When we were performing with the Australian Theatre for Young People, there was a bunch of us from PYT, from Fairfield, a little bit rough, a little bit rowdy, going into the city every day to perform and to rehearse. And our poster was on the side of the Opera House, big spin out for us, and we performed for school audiences. So we performed this show and we had the kudos of all of our friends and family. But after the final show, we stepped outside of the Opera House, looked at each other, shared a bit of a look that said, I think I want to go back to Fairfield. We loved what we achieved, we loved what we were able to do, but we knew where home was, and that was with PYT.
What I think makes PYT special and has made this company really special over the 25 years is the company's ability, regardless of who is leading the company, to respond to the creative interests and needs of young people.
That this was a company that had a model of working within a community in a collaborative way, and it's not just about creating shows.
It is so important to actually have people telling stories about our communities.
PYT continued its tradition in professional development, running workshops, courses and opportunities for community members to rehearse and participate in events.
In 2005, I was learning English. I was at the Intensive English Centre at Miller, and one of my drama teachers gave me a small piece of paper saying PYT is running acting classes. And then from there on, I went took a journey into drama and then film.
I was doing writing workshops with PYT, acting workshops, and even administration kind of things that I wouldn't have been allowed to do at school. But at PYT, it was as simple as, you're young, you're keen, have a go.
PYT gave me a lot of practical experience, working in the organisation in a volunteer capacity, learning all about how to run a company, market a company, develop projects, create projects, identify projects, budget them, find funding, and then manage them.
I've been learning about acting skills, about performance skills. Actually, something that in PDH is called feedback, auto feedback, that you actually can tell if you're actually doing it well without nobody telling you that's not the way to do it.
At PYT, I knew that there wasn't anyone who would laugh at me when I was speaking English, because it is PYT, it is located at Fairfield, southwest Sydney, and it is blessed by a lot of refugees and migrants who arrived newly in Australia.
Always at the edge of innovation, PYT sought to incorporate new technologies in storytelling. Video was becoming widely used by young people in Western Sydney, so PYT decided to provide a platform to nurture this growing medium.
So I won the Shortcuts Film Festival in 2010, which was pretty awesome because I guess we really worked hard that year to make a solid film, you know, with Mohammed, and we were just, we had no intention of we just wanted to be involved really, like every single year. We just wanted to get our thing showcased, and we're so happy to just have the chance for people to watch our film.
I learnt about filmmaking and the whole process of getting a team on board and just doing all of that stuff. So it was through PYT that I actually was inspired to make more films, I guess.
In 2008, PYT worked again in partnership with the Vietnamese community in Western Sydney to make a play called Motherfish. And that play was written and directed by Qua Do, and it recounted the journey of 4 refugees who were fleeing Vietnam after the war and came to Australia by boat. And it really struck a chord with the Vietnamese community, and they were fully behind it. And Qua was lucky enough to have some investment from Parramatta City Council for a film project. I believe to date we're the only theatre company in Australia to actually make a feature film out of our play in the very same year.
At 25 years young, PYT has achieved so much, created over 45 original performances, staged 3 tours, produced an award-winning feature film, provided countless skills development workshops, launched careers in the creative arts, and entertain audiences across Western Sydney and Australia. Harnessing all this passion, creativity and talent, PYT looks forward to the next 25 years of storytelling.
For me, I'm just so happy that something we started 25 years ago is still around. I found it on Facebook and went, wow, PYT is still... And Donna kind of kept me informed in the moments we saw each other, which hasn't been a lot. But I'm just amazed the thing is still alive.
I didn't think I could make theatre. I thought other people did that. But to have these people who were structuring us into a place that was like a performable work was amazing.
A huge thing for me at that time, and has, as I said, led me to where I am today, and want to continue working in that area. So if I wasn't handed that class,
Everyone's story is unique, and who can tell a story in the best way is the owner of that story. A company from, let's say, this CBD of Sydney can't come and tell a story about a refugee and a migrant from Blacktown or from Fairfield or from Liverpool. Who can tell that story in the best way is someone from this region, and possibly the owner of that story, and PYT actually enables that person to tell that story.
So PYT showed me that there are workable ways to follow your dream without having to live off 2-minute noodles and without having to sacrifice everything that you want to do. And now I found that happy compromise, and PYT are the ones who gave me that option and allowed me to enjoy the process along the way.
Walking in here, I feel like I'm in my house, so it's like my second home really. And we just have such a connection to the space in itself because we've been able to train here and, get kicked out sometimes by security or whoever,
Or even if it's for just personal development. I think PYT has been very strong as a hub, and I think it will continue to be just as strong a hub.
If PYT wasn't here, I probably would be studying commerce right now. I'm just going to put it out there because it was through PYT that I actually decided, okay, I'm going to continue this because there are places like that out there which will support you and make you feel like you're actually on the road to success or somewhere. So yeah, if PYT wasn't here, oh my goodness.
You just have to enjoy the journey. I think that's it. You don't. Sometimes you have a goal and you think that's it and that's what I want to achieve. But I think if you open yourself up to just being a part of this wonderful artistic journey that you're going on, then you're probably going to have a much more interesting and fun time.
A lecturer at UWS told me, Bruce Keller, who's now passed away, something he told me in my first year and he said, bite off more than you can chew, then chew like crazy. And I think that's something that I really took on board when I was at PYT. I was just taking in as much experience and involvement in the company as a participant, and then obviously as a staff member, and just taking on as much as we could to try and cater for the need that the community had.
And it's been the will of the people who have led the company that have kept that heartbeat going. It's been the communities who have connected with the company that have always kept the heartbeat going.